Pepper, do you think a hoarder can ever become a minimalist? Huh? She says absolutely. In this video, I'm going to be sharing how I bought Dawn the Minimal Mom's Decluttering Workbook around Christmas time. And I've been wanting to try it out and share with everybody of how someone with hoarding disorder who's recovering can also take steps to become a minimalist too. I started watching Dawn in the beginning of 2018, right when I was at the point that I knew that I wanted to come forward with my hoarding disorder. I wanted to humanize it, but I was just too scared. I was too scared to vocalize it. And she really helped motivate me and encourage me that I could do this and that it's not so scary to be a minimalist and that it's also not that scary to share your story on YouTube. And I did start my channel that summer in 2019. So now I'm just really excited to be here in 2022, where I can publicly show myself and use Dawn's workbook as a tool to help me even more in decluttering and organizing my house. So of course, the first thing I did was I went through the book. I read the beginning, I was skimming through it, I was reading parts that really caught my mind just to really catch the gist of the book. And there's also a link in the description box below so that you can get your own copy too. And of course, the page that caught my eye the most was your why. Hoarding disorder, well, it is an emotionally driven disorder. I held on to things to fulfill that security, to feel safe and not feeling anxious or depressed. So to turn it around, I have to address the emotions attached to the thing. Another thing that really caught my eye is the question of, imagine that you had the day off, dishes, laundry, house was decluttered. What would you do with all that time? And the truth is, my entire life, dirty dishes and laundry never prevented me from doing what I wanted. For my entire life, I would joyfully take the boys out to fun places while the house was a hot mess. Of course I did. The hot mess meant that I had to make decisions, stir up feelings I wasn't ready to deal with. It was an avoidance for me, and I didn't want to deal with it. Doing chores all day long, cleaning, decluttering, getting rid of all this stuff. I felt like it took away all of my fun times with the kids. What a burden. I'll do it later. The mess can wait. It'll be there when I get back. That was the mindset that I had. It wasn't until the mess became too much of a heavy burden that I wanted to change. Sometimes the pain of remaining the same has to surpass the pain of change. That is the point when I wanted to turn our lives around. So I just had to change my question from who would you spend time with, because it's never prevented me from spending time with people, to whose quality of life will it improve? I wanted the boys to enjoy their home. I wanted them to freely have friends over. I wanted to have family and friends over freely without feeling ashamed and just guilty. And right here, you're supposed to write on your Post-it your main why. And my main why is that I know this is a life lesson my soul needs to learn for not only myself, but for everyone else who struggles with hoarding disorder. So it looks like the first room to tackle is the kitchen. Yay, I've actually decluttered this a lot of times and I'm feeling pretty confident. Now, the first thing is pots and pans. That is the first thing that it says to go through. The first step is to grab all the pots and pans that you use the most and put them on top of the stove. Start with your most favorite one and the most used ones and place them on each of the burners until the burners are covered. And if needed, you can put them on the side of the stove too. And for the remaining pots, you're supposed to put it in your donation box or your time will tell box. Now, of course, with hoarding disorder, we're going to look at this a little differently because we're going to move from making logical decisions to emotional decisions. Because I can tell you right now, even though I never used this chili pot, I still want to. I just need to do it. So I'm emotionally going to keep it because that's what's going to keep me moving forward to make the decisions of these pots and pans right here. I can let go of. Look at the inside of that. I feel good letting that go. I'm making the decision emotionally. And let's not forget that lid, because I know if I don't grab the lid to it now, I'm totally going to forget. But no, I'm making these decisions emotionally that I feel good. I feel strong. I can see myself letting it go because I don't really use it. And it's okay. It's okay within my heart to let these pans and pots go. Now, this is my time will tell bin, and you only get one for the kitchen, so you got to make sure that it counts. Now, it's supposed to be items that you set aside to see if you miss them. Now, I know me, somebody recovering in hoarding disorder, I could actually use this as a, yay, I don't have to make the decision today. I can make it another day. Again, kind of encouraging that avoidance. So I'm glad that we get one bin, but I know my past. I've done this 1,000 times. I've put many boxes in the basement to make decisions later, and I don't want that to keep happening. So to avoid that, I'm probably going to have to put a time limit on that, and it's probably going to have to be like either 2 to 4 weeks, and it's going to have to be an alarm set on my phone as an event of this is the day we decide what to do with the time will tell bin. And of course, the last part is putting all the pots and pans that you use frequently away. And what I love about Dawn's workbook is that she gave me the groundwork on how to do this, right? There's very basic steps. And what I do is I just accustom it to my life. Like everybody declutters differently. Everyone is going to have a different thing of what they want to keep and let go of. And the beauty of it is that you take somebody's idea and you can customize it to your own life. Next, we're going to work on the food storage containers. And Pepper seems to be very motivated to get in here. She would like to see this be cleared out a little more. Now, as far as the food storage containers go, I do seem to be a little more emotionally attached to them, and it seems to be very common in hoarding disorder. I'm not really sure why that is the case, but we're going to start the same process. We'll start to pull out the food storage containers that are my favorite and that we use most of the time. So during this process, I'm going to add something to it for everyone with hoarding disorder, and that is, why am I emotionally attached to so many food storages? What does it represent within myself? And for me, it kind of represents that, hey, I could actually be organized, and inflation is through the roof. So I need these food containers so I can bring lunch to work. The kids can bring lunches and food to places, and I don't have to buy new ones in case one breaks because the food containers are even more expensive than when I bought them 10, 15 years ago. I mean, I can make this go on and on and on. But at its core, it's my anxiety that is making me want to keep so much stuff. So now I need to turn it around. And by turning it around, I can start to look at it differently in the sense of, wow, I have a lot of food storage containers, and I don't need to hoard so many of them. I can let go of some of them. I feel good about letting go of some of them. And on that emotion, we'll start with this lid. I don't need this lid. And she actually said this in the workbook, is that don't keep lids if you don't have the bottoms to it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, I love these containers right here, but honestly, I have plenty of them. They're sturdy. I can let one of each go. I still have plenty left over to take to work for the kids to use. I don't need 3 or 4. I mean, I only need maybe 2. Same with this store-bought soup container. I definitely can let this go. I have this one I can use. And for the popsicles, well, This one's missing a lid, the other one's broken. We can let that go. I got another functioning one. And this container, I have so many, right? I have so many. I have an abundance of food storage container that maybe I can give it away to somebody else who could use it. Like maybe even cook a meal in it and give it to someone and they can keep the container, right? These are the good aspects of it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll make cookies or something and put them in this container and give it away. For me, to calm the anxiety, I have to create a happy story towards the items, right? I can let go of this lid. I feel good about it by creating this happy story in my mind, like the boys baking cookies together, and then we give it to a neighbor or a friend, and they're appreciative and excited about it. That's what helps me. That's what eases the anxiety so that I am not creating this anxious story that I'm going to fear. I am creating a happy story that I cannot wait for. And this is how I make my decisions emotionally and not logically so that I have no regrets. I made the decision in love and with a sound mind. I'm using all the tools and advice from Dawn's workbook and just putting a little hoarder spin on it. And if anybody else has any tips or advice, we would love to read them in the comment section below. It's one of my favorite parts, honestly, because we are a loving community who lifts each other up, who encourages each other. I have gotten so much amazing advice from all of you, and it's made such a difference in my life. And this is what we're letting go of this episode. And honestly, I'm proud of myself because I thought I decluttered this kitchen so much that I was already at bare bones for me. And I was able to still let go of more. Now, this is our time will tell. Of course, this definitely has to be on a time limit so it's not sitting in the basement forever. But overall, I'm proud of myself. I was able to let go of more. So it just goes to show that maybe someone who had hoarding disorder that was a level 4 can be a minimalist. And it just takes time, and that is okay. You go at your own pace, but you'll be amazed at what you can let go of when you honestly thought you've let go of a lot. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see where the journey takes us next. And I really hope this video has encouraged you to declutter too.